I don't know. Give me numbers for both of them.
30062.
30062.
CAA Tokyo.
Oh, I'm behind. And we're live.
Oh.
Are you seeing me now? Are you seeing me, Mike?
I
300.
real life.
30005?
30062.
30062.
Why?
Oh, you get to see me over there too. So this is the NSX.
Yeah.
And you got one more for me?
Yeah. 30010.
30010.
Also CAA.
Alright, we needed to go up live at 11 o'clock, and so that's why I started the stream, and then it turns out that I wasn't actually ready to do it, and so that's why you're seeing a little bit of behind the scenes going on here. Okay, so that's everything that we got there. We'll just start by putting that one onto the screen. There's nowhere I can put it. I wish I could grab my face over here and then redirect my face over somewhere else on the screen. That'd be quite handy if it were possible. Maybe we'll just lower that for now. So what's up, guys? It's Derek here. We're gonna be a little bit quiet over there with the box taking apart.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. But maybe take the boxes apart when we're done with the stream because we're online now. Okay. Can anyone see you?
I don't think so.
Hidden.
No, they can't.
Oh, little bit.
Here, I'll move the shelf out of the way so everyone can get a good look. Yeah, so today might be a little bit noisier. We got a little bit of spring cleaning going on behind us, and then I got my son Sean here. He's sick and home from school, so he's being parented by an iPad at the moment.
Oh.
That's a great way of putting it.
He's been throwing up for over a month, and it's pretty terrible. Even though he's not sick, he's throwing up, and then today was a field trip, so we didn't want him to go out on a field trip. Okay, so we're going to roll right into this. My name's Derek. You guys know that because you subscribe to my channel. We also got Mike D in the house.
Hello.
Hi, Mike.
You're just looking great today, Derek.
Am I looking great?
Yeah.
So I'll tell you a bit of a story. So
yeah.
Last night I was coming out of the shower, and you know how my hair's too long, and everyone's like, Derek, you look like a nerd with long hair, and you're stupid now. You need to cut your hair. And so I never cut my own hair. I don't know how to do it.
Yeah.
I don't like going to a hair salon. I don't like that.
Right.
Usually my wife cuts my hair, but we've been really busy recently. So when I was younger, I used to put my hair in a ponytail. And it's hard. I can see you looking at me, wondering what it's going to look like.
Yeah.
And so last night, I wanted to see if I could put my hair into a ponytail, and it turns out that I can, but not like the lower sections. It's like a high samurai-style ponytail. Thank you very much for the green tea, Ayako. And it actually wasn't so bad with the ponytail. Ayako, how was the ponytail last night?
It was funny.
She says it was funny. And so I had it tied up, and my hair dried like that. Because I came right out of the shower, put my hair in a ponytail, and then it dried. And that kind of like conforms her hair into a weird shape, right? I went to bed like that, and I woke up, and my hair was just like everywhere. It was crazy.
Oh man.
Yeah, and so I wet my hair and toweled it off, and it's like grown-up things, making sure that you don't look like a buffoon. Because we got those people coming in today to come visit us, and I didn't want to look like I didn't know how to brush my hair. And no matter how much I brushed it, this side was all coming out, and it was like at the top it was sticking up. It was pretty crazy.
It's too long now. It kind of does what my hair does, where it gets to a certain length and then it just grows sideways. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh well. I also bit my cheek, and it hurts. So hopefully the green tea helps with that. I don't know what a skin fade is. What is a skin fade? Do you know what that is, Mike? Someone says I need one.
I think it's like, kind of like, this is kind of like a fade, but not like the Western style. He just did like 2 lines, kind of. So a skin is like, it goes from your skin and then like gradually grows into your hair. Yeah,
the problem is I have an abnormally small head and misshaped. Yeah.
So
the hair kind of hides.
Yeah.
If I have larger hair, it makes my head look bigger.
Yeah.
And it gives me more authority. And even if it doesn't give me more authority, it makes me feel like I do. So I can go around, being one of those guys that claims authority, but he's
Yeah,
really
yeah.
not an authoritative type of person.
Well, you don't think you're an authoritative type of person? I believe it.
Don't talk back to me. Watch me punch a table. Okay, let's say hi to the people that are in the chat. Our first person, you win a prize of, what do we got on the desk to give away? You win a prize of a super cat. Actually, you don't. I just found this on the desk and I don't know whose it is, so I can't give it away. Hunts by Chainsaw, welcome to the chat. Welcome being number 1. And then Boboba Irving, I don't know how to pronounce your name. BWW Irving is kissing me. I love that. And then who else do we got? Water Cooled Performance. Very cool. Is that a Volkswagen thing? Or a Porsche thing? Because normally people wouldn't advertise that they're into water cooled unless the company has a history of air cooled. I would like to know, so let me know, Mr. Water Cooled Performance. And what's up with me? Not an awful lot. Someone's sending me a message. It might be my mom. It is my mom. She says, when are you posting the link to your live show? This is going to be entertaining if she joins. I don't know. Ayako,
Yeah.
do you mind sending a message to my mom? She wants to know how to see the live stream and she doesn't know how to use computers. No?
You really want me to?
I don't even know how. How do you tell your mom how to find the live stream? I don't.
Does she know YouTube? Does she know?
I don't really want to go to my Facebook on this computer here to send her the link either.
I think it's open on this one. Do you want me to send it?
Yes. It could be all sorts of fun having her in the chat.
It says live dashboard. Wait. No, I'm just kidding.
I seriously don't know how to send a link for it. Okay, who else we got? Tater's gonna Tate, welcome back. Wink for you. John Clark is here. Hey, what's up? Howdy, y'all. I love that. Wasim sells Roberto Buenrostro. Okay, that's a cool name. Renee Suck, that's a cool name too. CLP. Why would you say that on the internet? I don't know. I probably say an awful lot of things on the internet I shouldn't. And John Clark says I shouldn't have my hair in a bun. I don't know. I've never tried a bun before. That became a thing after I've already decided that I don't do hairstyles anymore. I just kind of let it do what it wants to do. Tater's gonna Tate says son might have acid reflux. Ayako,
Yeah.
what do you know about acid reflux?
Reflex?
No, acid reflux.
I don't know.
Tater's gonna Tate's little brother did that, and he had to throw up every day because of it. So I don't know what it is about my son's throwing up, but I think that he has difficulty understanding that you have to clear your throat, and then it builds up, and then when there's too much, he throws up. Water cooled performance. I switched to my business account. That's pretty cool, but I wonder what your regular account is. Is that a regular name that we would recognize?
The which one?
Water cooled performance. Can you look up some Toyota Voxys? I will do that for you. Or you can do it yourself. You can go to auctioned.pacificcoastjdm.com and you can look up your own Voxys. But I'm going to look up Voxys for you. Because I think that it's really funny. Voxys are definitely not the type of car that most people who are our customers are going to be interested in. So perfect thing to put on our live stream. Advanced search. I'm getting confused by my own system. Toyota Voxy. What's the other name of the Voxy, Mike?
Is it the Noah? No.
It is.
Is it?
Bing bong! You win, and you can win a mood ring.
Yes. Wait, do
Put it
these
on.
work?
No, it's not actually a mood ring. It's just a ring, and I don't know why it's on the desk.
It doesn't fit my finger.
Okay, I got you a Toyota Voxy. There you go. I think it's meant for kids, Mike. That ring that I gave you.
I was a kid once.
You're not a kid anymore.
Some may disagree.
You would be an abnormally big kid if you were. So it's a 2002 Voxy here. It comes with a 2-liter Toyota engine. It's I don't know an awful lot about it. This one's not one that you're gonna want to buy because it has rust on the side sills, which is a little bit weird for 2002. Rust on the side sills and rust on the door. But otherwise it's in really good condition with some scratched up rear bumper. It's a no-claim car, that's what the stamp means. The audio has been removed. The rear seats have been removed. So maybe it has been used as something of an industrial truck.
I can vouch for Voxys. They're fantastic.
In what way are they fantastic, Mike?
We did a road trip in one. 6 of us.
Uh-huh.
And they drove it from Hokkaido to Osaka, and then from Osaka up to Tokyo, and all around the area.
That's a big trip.
Yeah.
You were in that trip?
Yeah.
You slept in it?
Yeah.
With 6 people?
3 outside, 3 inside.
3 outside, like
tents. Camping.
Oh, I'm thinking they're riding on the roof of the car.
That would be sweet. Fantastic cars, highly recommend.
Wow, sounds like a good trip. What do you do on a road trip to not be bored?
Alright. Bad sing-alongs.
Is that what you did?
Electronic music. Yeah.
Anyone can sing to electronic music. All you have to do is go whoop, 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 whoop. You can make your own parts of it.
No, like you
right?
know the Euro style electronic music when they yell like crazy stuff.
Like what? Can you give me an example? But you said that you sing along with it.
Right.
If I give you some techno music, can you give me an example?
But like Scooter to the Logical song, like they talk about strange things, right?
Maybe.
The Logical song or Scooter or any of Scooter.
I don't know Scooter. No. Sorry, old guy here.
Conversation is.
I'm hiding my receding hairline by growing my hair out. I don't know who Scooty is. Okay, Snuffles has a question. Do you know where a left-hand drive Salika GT4 can be imported from? I heard they exist in some European countries. Not sure what they'd cost. The left-hand drive GT4 was called the All-Track in America and Canada, and you can buy it for the first 2 generations of it. The 3rd generation you can't. And probably somewhere in England or in Europe, pardon me, you would be able to find a left-hand drive one because all the countries in Europe except for the UK are left-hand drive. And Water Cooled Performance wants to know how old I am. I think someone in the chat probably knows. See if you can pinpoint to the date, to the birth date. You know, we actually had another customer, this is 2 in the last month, that refused to give us their birth date when we needed it. Yeah, the 205s, you can probably find some in Europe, but I really don't know the answer to that because we don't sell cars in Europe. We sell to Europe, we don't export from there. I would really look in like France/Germany, maybe. Or maybe just like a Euro-wide car dealer thing. Born in 87. I am not that young, but I'll take that as a compliment. Pretty close though, not that far off. 87 is my brother's birthday. I think you should definitely be able to tell my month because I act exactly like my astrological sign.
Do you know my... Oh, damn, you already know my birthday. Can you tell other people? Or you just know it's yours? Like how other people act, you'd be like,
I'm joking about that. I know nothing about astrology or whatever that nonsense is. My sister was into it and I was like, okay, weirdo. Big Daddy, any places you'd recommend for EU importers? I don't understand the question. Places you recommend, like if you're looking to buy a car from Japan, then that's what we do. So it would be weird for us to recommend anyone except for ourselves to do that. As far as importing, you could generally do it yourself, but if you want to pay somebody extra to do the importing for you, you can. But it's really not that hard, I would suspect. You just kind of have to be the type of person that can roll with the punches, because if you're importing for the first time, you're doing something that is supposed to be done by companies. And so if something happens that is outside of what you were expecting, you have to understand that it's because of your lack of experience that happens. Because it is more of a business to business than a business to consumer type of business. Ooh, Pacific Coast Auto says, we can't show USS vehicles on the live stream, I'm afraid, Mike. I didn't mention that earlier, but yeah. USS is copyrighted, and we don't want to get in trouble with them, because we would go out of business if they close our account down. Yeah, I think the GT4 was not a very not a very highly produced car for Toyota. A very, very specialty type car, probably fairly expensive for them to make, and so I don't think that they would have wanted an awful lot of sales of that.
Oh, your exact birthday has been pinpointed.
My mom's in the chat. Hi, Mom. You know, there's some people that would get very angry by publicly displaying the birthday of a person, especially a famous person like me. You know what? I woke up this morning and I was like, everyone in my house has to listen to me. I'm famous. I'm going to have 35 people on my live chat today.
Yeah.
Ayako can attest to that.
Make a review.
Tony Yang is looking for any 80s cars that you can recommend. And so it depends on what you want, I guess. But JZX81 Cresta or Mark II or Chaser is probably one of the best 80s cars that was ever made. And Elizabeth wants to know, how are you doing, Mike? Elizabeth, I'm sorry, he has a girlfriend. So if that was your intention, you can back off now. But Mike, how are you doing?
Fine, thank you. Isn't that funny when some people do that? Like if you go to talk to someone, you're like, I don't know, ask for directions or introduce yourself or something. Like, I'm sorry, I have a boyfriend. Or I'm sorry, I have a girlfriend.
Has that ever happened to you?
Not me personally, but yeah.
See, what I think about that is, I don't think that there are many men that would do that. I think there are an awful lot of women who do that. And I think that the reason why is because it's pretty normal for men to approach women fairly frequently. And if you are in a relationship and you're really not interested in anybody else, it can be very annoying to be approached by people over and over and over and over again. You look at celebrities too, they always get people coming up to them saying, hey, I want a picture, I want an autograph, no matter what they're doing. I'm trying to have lunch with my family here. Can you just, wait until after lunch? I'll come over to your table.
You must
and it's
get
like, no, I gotta get that. I gotta get that picture now. I need that autograph now.
Yeah.
And to I think a lot of celebrities, they're probably better at handling it than I would be. Thank goodness nobody's ever done that to me. But it must be frustrating in the same way as it must be frustrating if you're a woman with, the type of woman who gets approached quite often. So I can understand why they would do that. And it's probably good for them to say that up front.
Yeah, that's true.
So I pulled up some cars that we can take a look at here. So just a few interesting ones. We got here an R31 Fairlady, which is starting to look better and better every month. I think probably about 5 years ago I started to once again take an interest in these. When I was a little kid, you could see these hot little Japanese hatchbacks, and they were cool, but I think that the next generation Fairlady after this and the earlier ones from the 70s, they really take most of the credit. But you can get this one. ZR1 has the RB20 engine in it, and so that's super cool. That's your Skyline engine, and that's an original engine for this car with a top mount intercooler. Pretty weird that they would do a top mount intercooler, because in the Skyline the intercooler's in the side over here, right where this headlight would be. And yet this is a sporty car with a low hood line. It's interesting that they found space to put the intercooler on the top like that. And this car I think came before the Skyline got this engine. And so it's not that this has the Skyline engine, it's that the Skyline has the Fairlady engine, I guess. Condition-wise, we got unknown mileage here with this. You can see the star. It's a 1987 Fairlady ZR1. It's an auction grade 2, which you really want to avoid unless you need the car for parts car. You really only get an auction grade 2 if the car has been in a really terrible accident or has corrosion problems or someone cut the roof off or something like that. RB20 turbo, it says here. And so mileage unknown car. It says front cross member has a large corrosion on it. Core support has small corrosion on it. Headliner is coming down largely. Seat is saggy and wear. Steering wheel grip is ripped or torn. Door card, same thing, as a small rip in it. End panel has a dent. Underside surface rust. The whole body has been repainted and various scratches and dents. And speaking of repainting a car, I got a quote on repainting one of our inventory cars because it has bad paint. They wanted 700,000 yen for repainting the car. which is basically like, how much is that in US dollars? Like $6,200 US dollars
Yeah.
to repaint a car.
Yeah.
Just a regular repaint, $6,200.
That's ridiculous.
That's pretty insane. I don't know how much it costs to repaint a car in all places of the world, but back home, like a mid-quality paint job would be like $3,500 Canadian or something. So less than half the price.
Yeah, that sounds about right for something like not crazy colors or difficult paints.
All GTA series video 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 1, 0. He didn't answer my cue. Oh no, I missed a question, Mike. What should I do? You know what? I have an idea. Why don't we stop accepting any questions to make sure that we hit every single question on there so that nobody feels left out?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I can't answer everybody's question on here. If you really, 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 really want your question answered, you can ask the question repeatedly and just spam it, and then I'll probably answer it. But if I think that you're acting like a dick, then I won't answer.
His question was about a Kia Vesta van.
Uh-huh.
But, I mean, it's probably going to have difficulty finding one in Japan.
A Kia Vesta. Japanese hate Korean car manufacturers. There's no reason why the cars don't sell here other than the fact that to a Japanese person, a Korean manufacturer has a very bad image, even though they don't in other countries like America and Canada. And so you don't find very many Kias here at all. I've seen like 3 in the 12 years I've been living here. And Pete is right, 6,200 in almost any state would be the most immaculate show quality paint job. I know, like, if your car is an expensive car, I can understand an expensive paint job because you expect it to be done pretty well, but this car isn't very expensive.
Yeah.
So it is very strange.
That you're after isn't difficult, right?
No, I just gave a like, not a color code. You know, some
right.
coats, some paints are rather expensive.
Yeah.
And some of them, well,
Pearl paints and things like that.
I just said I wanted army green, a glossy army green, which should be really easy to find, a cheap paint for that. Where's that guy's question that he answered? The Kia question?
Up a little bit. After answer me. Or before answer me.
Flavian, if you have a friend that does repaints for 10,000s or 250,000 yen, maybe I'll send the car down there. He's in Okazaki. Do you know where Okazaki is?
I'm about to find out.
Can you look that up? Maybe it's road trip time.
Okazaki.
Okay. In Aichi? Yeah, I'd really prefer if we could find somebody here. We're going to ask around a bit and see if we can find someone that can paint for less than $6,500.
If you followed the like Hamamatsu coastal type area, it could be a nice drive.
But then what would you do? I suspect it takes a few days for a paint job to be finished. And so what, road trip down there?
And road trip again.
And then rent a car and drive back.
Yeah. Or you can train. It'll be on the Shinkansen route, I think.
Yeah, but why would you need to go down there if you're just sending a car?
Yeah. Yeah, it's not a car that you know.
Alright, let's get to these other cars. Mike gave me this one, or suggested it. It is an NSX. These wheels are weird. They look like they were, like the design of the wheels make them look like they're original equipment, but I've never seen these wheels on an NSX before. They kind of don't look snazzy enough to be an aftermarket, and they have a finish that looks like it's aged a bit. Oh, and there's like a red light in the spoiler. What year is this? 1991. That's weird. Okay, so yeah, NSX. This one's been in a pretty big accident, and to be honest, I'd probably stay away from an accident NSX, because I don't know for certain about this, but I feel, this is just my gut instinct, that it's fairly difficult to repair a frame on an NSX because it's all made out of aluminum instead of steel, and most body shops are going to be familiar with how to repair steel. and then may not be as experienced in aluminum because very few cars have an aluminum chassis / body on them. And so I would be quite worried about that. 1990, especially a big accident like this, because as you can see, replaced. So the front three, those commonly get replaced, but a side sill over here and a back fender, that's pretty serious. And then the front inner panel has accident damage on it. Left front inner panel has been replaced. Left front pillar replaced. Left rear inner panel. And then it says door card scratched. Interior is dirty. End panel U2. Underside surface rust. My nose is extra itchy today. That's not actually on the auction sheet. A full repaint. I wonder if they paid 700,000 yen for that. I remember when these cars came out, Honda was all like, we got a new type of paint that is way better than any of the other paint out there.
Oh, really?
This is special paint. I don't even know what was special about it, but they were claiming that this is like revolutionary paint on the NSX. And then it like the paint just fades at the same rate as any other paint that I've seen. So I don't think that there's anything special. It might be powder coated paint. Like they might take, you know how powder coating works, right? They send a charge through, and through the electricity, it attracts the paint onto it so that you don't actually spray it on. You get less paint wave. A lot of higher end cars are done that way. It might have been done that way. I just don't know. Anyways, interior is dirty. End panel U2. Underside surface rust, full repaint. Exterior has small scratches in it. Rocker cover underside is scratched. That's under here. So it's like they dented the underside. Little bit of inside information here. We have lifted the suspension on the Toyota BB because it was too low and we were scraping everywhere. We're making a video about that, right, Mike?
Oh yeah.
Maybe that will be edited by next year. We'll see. We'll see about that. 265,000 kilometers. Whoa. But high mileage on this car doesn't bother me too much because it's, despite being something of a, you know, a high-end performance exotic-like car, it's really simple in terms of its mechanics. It's really nothing different than your regular car. And they're very reliable engines, and I may be wrong about this, but I think that they may have been rebalanced, like hand balanced, one engine at a time.
Wow.
Because they feel like that when you drive them, or at least they do to me. Okay, there we go. Price-wise, higher mileage, kind of big accident, but the body looks good, and it would probably look good in person. And manual transmission and a repaint. I'd say this is probably going to be on the lower end for the manual transmission ones. Maybe looking about 3.5 to 3.8 million yen. So that's somewhere in the range of about 32,000 to 35,000 US dollars. On to our next one. Ooh, manual transmission Jimny with a soft top. Everybody wants one of these.
With this?
I quite like it without the fender flares too. With the narrow body. Ooh, and yellow fog lights and a turbo. It's a turbo 660cc in this guy. Mileage is unknown because it's a 5-digit odometer. Intercooled turbo. What does this say? Korumetaru. Oh, that's not a ko. That's a fu. They just wrote it wrong. Full metal is what it means. Furumetaru. 550cc, and I think a lot of people are not wanting the 550cc version of it. I'm sorry, you're gonna watch me wipe my nose with a tissue. It's so itchy. It's like, I wish that I were rich enough to pay somebody to itch my nose. Mike, do you wanna come over here and give me a little itch?
A little scratch? No, thank you.
I obviously don't pay you enough. Steering wheel wear, seat wear, wheels scratched, door mirrors scratched, windshield rock chip, interior dirty and scratched and rip. Left front inner panel is dented. Various corrosion, holes, and rust. It is a really old one. This one's 1986. Seat ripped. Engine doesn't work very well. Underside surface rust and corrosion, but the body looks to be quite clean and nice. If you take a look, and it is original blue. I like the looks of it. I like this, that they didn't lift it too much, because these are very capable, even with a small lift or no lift at all. Looks nice with the aftermarket bumper. probably have to replace the soft top. Even if it is okay, soft tops tend to like shrink and stuff, so it might not be able to button up anymore over here. Stock rear bumper on it, and then wow, look at how much window you get in the back here. That's cool. Price wise, maybe I mean, engine doesn't work well, could be okay, but you don't really know until you buy it and find out, and so that's going to cause a lot of people not to want to bid on this one. I can see it go for about 150,000, so $1,200 US. This seems like it would probably be a reasonable buy at that price if you're okay with the smaller 550cc engine instead of the 660 that came in the next generation. And if you got questions here, Mike's going to write them down for you, and then ask the questions after I go through these cars here. We've got a Salika, which is a car that not a lot of people are thinking about, but ooh, look at the interior of this one. And then I picked up this one because it's the TRD Sport M version. And still, instead of your regular 190 horsepower, this has 215. And so it's a nice 25 horsepower difference. And the US spec of this only got 180 horsepower anyway. And they're really light cars. They're only 1,100 kilos, which I don't know in pounds. It's like 2,700 pounds. Right? I don't know. Do you guys in New Zealand use pounds for anything? In Canada, we use it for all sorts of things. But we're supposed to use kilos. From like the 1970s on, we moved over to metric. But we still use a lot of pounds. Like most people don't know their weight or their height using metric measurements.
Right. I guess we use like, some people use feet for height. That's it.
You weirdos.
Yeah.
Same thing as in Canada.
Centimeters as well.
And how about like PSI? Do you guys use PSI,
PSI
or do you use like KPA?
Not KPA. PSI, and what's the third one?
I don't know the third one. Bar? Like for pressures?
Yeah,
bar is KPA, isn't it?
Oh, really?
1 bar is 1 kPa. I don't know. I don't know this thing because I came from Canada where people are not that smart. Sorry to you Canadians, but I don't know why we do this dual version of our measurements. Anyways, back to the Salika. TRD Sports M, 65,000 kilometers. This is an original TRD car. It's going to have like a little badge in here that says TRD. It has a 6-speed manual, as they all do. It's not just the TRD that comes with that. And I think that even though it's a special model of a car that not an awful lot of people are really interested in. And on top of that, it's not at the same level as other types of special models because it's basically just an appearance and computer package. And so you get different aero parts like this front bumper. These wheels might come with it, I'm not really sure. And then a different rear spoiler. And you might get some different things in the interior. And I can't tell if these...
For a Salika?
Pardon me?
I think it looks pretty good for a Salika.
A lot of people don't like the Salika because it's front wheel drive and you can't get much more power out of the 1800cc engine.
Yeah.
And in Japan, they really love their turbo cars. And when this generation was the first Salika that you couldn't get as a turbo car, so a lot of people were disappointed. I think these are the original TRD seats. And they look like they get dirty really easily.
Yeah.
But, so, phone's ringing. We had the TRD Sports M Runks, which is the same platform and the same engine. And as this, yeah. And it was fantastic with the 6-speed manual. Fantastic. And then that one has a higher center of gravity because it's a taller vehicle and 50 more kilos than this. And so I think this would be a fun performance car that's going to get good fuel economy if you're interested in it. And probably only made about 200 or so of these. And I think you can likely get this for somewhere around $3,000, which is a steal for what you get, I think. Oh, bad paint on the top. I didn't even take a look at the auction sheet. So it says front side member has clamp marks. Basically, they repaired the chassis in some way. It is an R grade. Front support has been replaced. Exterior has peeling paint. Underside surface rust. Left rear fender has been replaced. End panel has been dented, and seat is stained. So it would probably need a full repaint, to be honest. That is bad enough that most people aren't going to want to drive around with a car like that. I think it's going to be a good car if somebody wants to keep it, but not a good car if someone wants to buy this, repaint it, and then try to sell it. I don't think there's enough money to be made after you repaint something like this. Unless there's a country that loves their Salikas, but judging by the prices of them here in Japan, I would think not. And I'll lower my estimate to probably about $2,200 for this one. 22 to 25, somewhere in there. And this one here, we got a Mini, because Japan's the best country to buy your Minis from, and we get a lot of people asking about Minis. We don't have a lot of people buying them, but then again, we're also pretty bad, Michael Dennis, at replying to emails quickly.
Yes.
Not Michael's fault. I'm just saying that because
I'm involved with the reply.
Because we both need to take on the difficulty of replying to everybody on time. This one looks pretty cool. It has an aftermarket front lip. It has clear signals, which are smaller than the original ones, made to look like the Mark 1. It has aftermarket fender flares on it there. And aftermarket exhaust. It's kind of cool having the black with the silver two-tone. It's a different look than what you would normally get. And 1996 is the first year of this badge, this mini badge, and would have come with an airbag, except this one has an aftermarket steering wheel. 1996 also the first year for the airbag. And this is a Cooper model of the car. That means you get a little bit more power. Honestly, I don't drive Minis enough to notice the extra power, so I don't really know. I'd really like to side-by-side drive two of them. I've driven enough Minis, but you know, a lot of the ones that I drive have either been modified or they are a Cooper, and it's been like a year since I drove my last non-Cooper version, so it's really hard to tell. I think these can be fast cars, but they're hard to make really fast cars, and they're pretty fast on tight corners when they're stock because of stiff suspension, lightweight, short wheelbase, and good suspension geometry, I think. And I've owned one. Have you ever driven one, Mike?
Mini?
Yeah.
No. I would like to, though.
Yeah, they're really
I don't
fun.
know what it feels like.
I kind of wish they were a little bit nicer to shift. The shifter gives you not very much feedback, but no power steering, and brakes giving off a lot of feedback, even if they're the drum brake versions. So it's been in an accident. It looks like paint is pretty bad with lots of peeling paint and cracks, and this has been repainted. And so when you repaint and it has paint damage on it, that's usually an instant no-no for me. It's a 4-speed manual. The only way you can get a 5-speed is if you go for an aftermarket gearbox, and they're so expensive that most people don't do that. And the 4-speed is generally pretty good as long, like the actual box doesn't tend to have reliability issues. It just feels weird when you shift. And you have to make sure you change your oil because it shares the engine oil. Steering wheel wear, seat wear, door mirrors, scratched windshield, rock chip, interior dirty, scratched, and ripped. Front inner panel dented because it's been in an accident. Suspension has been modified. Exterior has corrosion on it in various places. Fender mirrors on the car. I didn't even notice that. That's cool.
Oh, that's a cool look.
Yeah, a lot of the Japanese ones have the fender mirrors, even though they came standard with the door mirrors. And then when they sold them in Japan, they took them off the production line with the mirrors on the doors, and then replaced the mirrors on the doors for the mirrors on the fenders.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, weird,
That's
isn't
awesome.
it?
Yeah.
Yeah, the fender mirrors are cool. They're a little bit annoying at first, but once you get used to it, it's not that bad. Underside surface rust corrosion cracked. Well, I don't want to hear about a cracked frame. Yuck. And because it's unibody and it's not a very strong underside, if you have any cracks, then you're going to sag your frame. Various scratches and dents, oil leak on it because it's a Mini, and various modifications. So probably not a good one to buy unless you are an idiot. I can't think of any other reason. Usually I like to preface the things that I say that sound too strong by walking them back a little bit there, but there's not much walking back on this one. It looks cool, but the car is not good enough condition to buy. I could see this one being the target type of car for a company like an exporter in Japan that buys stock for the purpose of selling them without mentioning the details. Cough, be forward. Right? And that's what they do. They sell the cars for really cheap. You can get the cars for cheap, but you never know what you're going to get until you get it. And these kind of cars are the best ones for a company like that to buy because they're the most attractive when it comes to buying them. But then you don't know about the cracked frame. Anyway, that's all the cars that I picked up. So, Mike, feed me something. Feed me questions or feed me... Give me liberty or give me death.
Are electric cars popular in Japan? That's from Nicholas Dusetal.
Thank you, Nick, for sending that in. Are electric cars popular in Japan? You see quite a few Priuses there and other electric hybrids in Japan. I don't think you see very many full electric cars because a lot of people in Japan don't park their car at their house. Or at least this is what it's like in the city. If you go to a countryside, maybe you park at your house and you can charge your car there, but an awful lot of people either live in an apartment if they live in the city, or maybe their house doesn't have a parking spot, which is fairly common, and they park in a group parking pool.
Or it's outdoors, or not like a garage where you can plug it in and then I guess you could still run a lead. But
and I'm guessing that has something to do with not seeing too many of them. But you see like when Nissan Leaf first came out, I saw quite a few of them.
Yeah.
And I don't see so many anymore.
I see the e-powers around everywhere, but I'm pretty sure that's just Nissan's new hybrid system. I want to get it right.
Nissan.
Nissan.
A good way to remember is like Nissan is like 2-3.
Nissan.
Right? Because 2 is Ni and 3 is San. That's Nissan's lucky number.
23. Nissan.
Yeah. Cool, isn't it?
Yeah.
Isn't it cool when I tell you cool things?
Yeah, I love cool things. Tell me more cool stuff. Dad.
Tell me more questions.
Yeah. Importing to Taiwan or the Philippines, have we ever done it? We can do it.
We can ship to any country as long as you're legal to import the cars, so that's not a problem. If you want us to get a quote for you, we can get it on the shipping cost, but we can't really talk to you too much about the import regulations in your country, because if we take on the liability of that, for example, if we advise you, you can import this car, and then we're wrong about that, then you just imported a car that we would then be responsible to pay to bring it back to Japan. And so because of that, it explicitly says in our terms of service that we offer no warranties whether the cars are legal in your country, and it's completely up to you. Now, that being said, we know the import rules of an awful lot of the countries, so the ones that we deal with a lot of the time, and we can help you in that case, but at the end of the day, it's still your responsibility to know that. Marty Lardy found a way to get a DB8 in the USA. I live in the USA with my DB8. It's the year 2000. How do I get it registered? Hey, Mike, I got all this marijuana in my house, and I would like to sell this marijuana. How do I legally sell it to other people without getting in trouble?
Legally?
Yeah, unfortunately, you own a car that's not legal. It's impossible for you to legally register it. If you want to register it, your best bet is to take it to the bad guys and get them to VIN swap it for you. But then you're also dealing with bad guys that are gonna, I don't know.
Marijuana.
I can't really say, advise. But please do these illegal things in order for you to register your illegal car in your country.
I have more questions.
Yeah, go ahead.
This one's an odd one. I thought it was quite funny though.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what the price is for an S15 legal into the USA in 2023?
Oh, the prices for an S15 in 2023.
Yeah.
What year is it now?
2019.
So this is 4 years in the future.
Yeah, it's the very first ones to go there, right? Or is that every 5 years?
So
6 years? No.
Yeah, I feel like the S15 is going to go up in price an awful lot. And the reason why is because they're already getting few and far between. Take, for example, the S13s, which they made like 350,000 of those. And then the S15s, they made 60,000 of them. So very, very much fewer. I find that the S15s also tend to wear out faster than the 14 or the 13. And so when you add those two things together, it means you can have very few of them that are going to be in reasonable condition by the time they're US legal. And through the basics of supply and demand, that means that naturally you're going to get higher prices for any of the ones that are still able to be registered for the road.
Yeah.
I also feel like that's one of your last fine Japanese cars. It's like I mean, I'm a little bit hard on it, but they're still wonderful Japanese cars. They still have a reasonably good engine, a reasonably good chassis. They look very 90s. They're part of the coolness of the 90s Japanese cars. I feel like by the time 2023 rolls around, all Japanese 90s cars are going to be in short supply. And that's going to be one of the last ones that can be grabbed onto because it's the newest. It's going to stay in good condition better than early 90s cars. Most of them are going to be wiped out because it's 10 years newer than them. It's maybe still possible to get in good shape. Like these days, you can still find some pretty good S15s for like about $15,000, sometimes $12,000 or so, up to $20,000 at the dealers. I think we're going to see higher prices than that, which to me is insane for a Silvia. Yeah. And so I think it's going to be one of those cars like the Supra is now, where there's a lot of people interested in it, but the people who are interested in it don't overlap with the people who want to spend that much money on them. And we've seen in the last 10 years, German manufacturers have really been eating Japanese manufacturers' lunch in terms of performance cars, especially with the AMGs and the M's and the Porsche. Like the Cayman just kicks everything else's butt. Yeah. And so either you can get an S15 that's 25 years old for the same price as you can a Cayman that's 15 years old that performs 3 times as good. I think to a lot of people it's going to be a hard buy to go for an S15. Okay, what else do we got?
Oldest car we've ever sold.
19...
Oh, do we have it up there?
Yeah, we don't have the year. 1968, maybe?
Is it also the most expensive?
Yes. I don't think that we sold anything older than 1968. I don't think so.
Yeah, I can't think of anything. Oh. What's the gallant?
72.
Dang.
72 is pretty old still. 72 is my first year of a car. The Mini. What was your first year?
It was a bike. Does it count?
Yep.
91?
Yeah, that doesn't count, because that's not old.
Well, my car was 98.
Wait, you were born in what year?
90.
90. So that bike was, when you were 1, that bike was sold brand new.
Yeah.
My first car was 10 years on the road when I was born.
I don't drive anything that's not.
That's how poor I was. What was your first car, Mike?
Mondeo, Ford Mondeo.
And what year was that?
2001.
Okay, so that one was like a full 10 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, so my car was 20 years older than your first car, comparative to my age.
Yeah.
Ayako, my wife's first car, was a 1987 Camry.
Camry? 1987? I don't know what those look like.
It was so comfortable, and the air conditioning worked. It was the first car, it was literally the first car that I had ever really been in that had air conditioning.
Yeah.
None of the cars I grew up with. Well, in Canada, a lot of cars don't have air conditioning because they don't really need it. Like the summers, even if they're hot, they're usually, at least in my area, dry hot.
Yeah.
You can just roll the windows down and you can be okay. Nowadays, all the cars have air conditioning because everybody's a whiny little baby.
Also, Elizabeth was asking about some cars if we had them for auction. So I thought maybe we could clarify that we do not. The auctions are not ours, they're...
Yeah, so these auctions that we're looking at here, all the exporters have the same access to all the auctions. I remember when we got into this business, exporters used to always claim, we're the only exporters that have access to all the auctions across Japan. Typical of export companies, they're just lying in order to make themselves look cooler. But yeah, all exporters have access to all the same cars from auctions. And if their business model is to sell directly from auctions, which in my opinion is the best value for money and the most secure way to purchase, then there's going to be no difference in what you can buy. However, some exporters buy cars for their own stock, and those cars would only be available to that exporter, and we don't do that. We although we have some cars that we sell from time to time, that's very much not part of our business model. That's less than 1% of the cars we sell. And to be honest, I don't love doing that because the game with that is very different from buying directly from auctions. When you buy directly from auctions, it's in our best interest to get you the best deal. When you're buying an inventory car from us, if you look at it strictly from a business point of view, it's in our best interest to sell that for the biggest difference between what we bought it from and what we sell it for. And so that means that we want the highest price, which means the customer naturally gets not the best deal out of that. And I don't like that the way that is between us and the customer, and so that's why we didn't structure our business around that way. That being said, a lot of customers do like to buy cars with more security, and so buying from inventory, maybe if you pay a little bit more, this can buy you that extra amount of security that you prefer. So that's the end of that. Wow. Inheriting an FJ40 would be pretty rad. I would like to have inherited an FJ40. I did not inherit any cars. My mom said that, I wonder if she's still on here. my mom said that I could have a Pontiac Prix.
What is that?
Oh, it's super rad. I didn't realize it was rad when I was little, because at that time it was a Malaise era beater, basically. But it is a very cool, like, 350 Chevy 350 engine, rear-wheel drive, giant car.
What? How do you?
I can't remember which year it was.
Do you know how to spell it?
No, it's very difficult to spell. Just kind of bang on the keyboard and hope that Google autocorrects you.
Did it also?
And she said that we could have it, and then one day she's like, "I sold the car for $150."
Oh, what? Is it a really long one?
Yeah, it's super big, and 4 doors, because they come in 2-door and 4-door, but I don't remember which year. I'm thinking it was like a 1975 or 76 or somewhere in there. Every year they looked a little bit different, and I can't find one that looks exactly the same.
Or is that the Solstice? I don't know.
We got that car as a family car for free because we didn't really have money to buy anything ever. Basically a fancy Chevy Caprice. Yeah, another car I don't know because I really know nothing about American cars. Why don't we take a look at some of the other cars at auction, Mike? You got something for me?
Yes. John Clark was after Land Cruiser Prado, 75290.
And just to let everyone know, we got 8 more minutes on the live stream. Land Cruiser Prado. The Prado is the lower level Land Cruiser compared to the 70. It's basically the Land Cruiser for people who aren't going to go off-roading as often, which is basically everybody. And so I like the packaging of the Land Cruiser. The smaller engine keeps it less fuel efficient, and it still has the cool looks of the 70. Short wheelbase one like this, because it comes in either the 2-door or the 4-door. 4-door I think is cooler looking, but this one would be able to perform better if you actually wanted to go off-roading. And this one's no slouch. They come with the 3-liter turbo diesel engine. This one has the 3-liter turbo diesel. The older ones are 2400 turbo diesels. And solid axles, front and rear. Easy to lift, lots of aftermarket support. One of the things I don't like about them is that the rear tire, which goes on these 4 bolts that you can see here, has been removed on this one. But the rear tire doesn't allow for bigger rear tires than the size of the door, because you need to be able to open this door before you can open this door. They got that backwards. Like the Land Cruiser 80 is better because it has a swing arm and you can swing the tire out of the way. But because the tire goes right on the door here, it's a pain in the butt. You go even 1 centimeter bigger on a tire on the back, and then now you can't open this door. And so you have to keep the tire in the back, but the short wheelbase, you can't keep the tire in the back because there's no room for a tire back there.
On the roof.
Kind of stupid design. Yes, on the roof I was thinking would be really cool, but if you have a big oversized tire, like a 35, that thing's going to weigh like 120 pounds.
Oh yeah, how do you get it up there? And then the last thing.
How do you get it down?
Yeah.
Right? You could toss it down, but then it's gonna bounce all down the road, decapitate some children.
Like, woo, Land Cruiser!
You would need some sort of a system of like pulleys or something to get that down. So yeah, one thing I don't like about it, but small price to pay when you have a Land Cruiser Prado. Decapitating children, small price to pay. Aftermarket bumper with tire holder. Yes, that would work. I feel like it would be pretty expensive, especially in Japan if you wanted something like that. The auction sheet's not coming up after I clicked on it. There we go. So it looks pretty clean. It is an original white one, and that's really gorgeous looking white paint. And not many of them came in white, and so that would be a big plus. You would see at least $1,000 extra because of that color, I suspect. Low mileage at 115,000 kilometers. This one has manual transmission too. Ooh, does this one have diff locks? The cable locks are right here, and this one doesn't have the cable locks, but they stopped in like 1988 or something, and then went to an electronic version of the locks, which the button is on the other side, so we can't check. This is a great car. I love it. Auction rate 3.5, interior C, exterior C. Core support and right front tire house have accident damage, or have been dented, basically. Not enough to require repair, and so that's why they didn't call it an R grade. Underside surface rust, and that's basically everything. Scratches on the roof, a bit of corrosion back here, spare tires missing, cracked rear bumper. Really, no problem for a 25-year-old Land Cruiser. It's cool. I want to buy it. Price of this one, I suspect we'll see this one somewhere around 1,000,000 yen, which is about $9,000 US, and then fees for shipping and export and stuff. Flavian, be nice to people on my live chat. Otherwise, I'm going to be angry. I'm not going to come to any track days with you.
No!
not like I actually do that. He's invited me to a few, but it's like a 4 or 5 hour drive. And I'm like, I got work to do. That's all I ever do is work. Have you ever met any Yakuza? I think that everyone in Japan has probably met Yakuza without even noticing it. But people who look like Yakuza you see every once in a while, but you never know if they're really Yakuza or just people who like the image of Yakuza and want to emulate it. I feel like in Japan, you probably, if you wanted to look like a Yakuza guy and just pretend you are, I feel like you wouldn't get as much kickback as you did if you wore a Hells Angels jacket in Canada and walked around going, yeah, Hells Angels rule! You'd probably get beat up pretty quickly if you did that.
Actually, I have a question for you. Do you know much about the Midnight Club?
I don't know an awful lot. I know a little bit.
Right. So they, like, when they were a bigger thing in the, I guess, 80s, 90s?
I think they were mostly early, late 90s, I think.
Right. They had, like, the Midnight stickers, and you had to be a member to be able to use it, and if people try to fake it and, like, put them on their cars would get vandalized and destroyed and whatnot. I saw a Supra, Mark IV Supra, looked really nice with the Midnight Club sticker on both on the windshield and on the bottom left front bumper. Real, or
I don't know. Did you put a note on his windshield? Like, I noticed that you have a illegal car racing sticker on your car, and I was wondering if you do illegal car races or not.
P.S. Not the police.
Definitely not the police.
Yeah.
Yakuza in Japan means equals good for nothing fact. I don't understand the grammar of the sentence, but I think you mean that the Yakuza is good for nothing. And I don't know. I think it's difficult for anyone to completely understand the effects in society that the Yakuza have. Of course, criminal organizations definitely have an awful lot of negative, but Japan is a unique country, and sometimes not everything that is technically bad is bad for the society. So I'm not really sure if you could say 100% of anything is bad or good. Is Derek from Kelowna? Look at this. In the chat, someone knows my birth date. They want to know where I come from.
You're getting...
If they want to know my address, I guess they can go on the website.
The downsides of being ultra famous.
Oh, here's a good example about that. Is the Yakuza bad? Now this doesn't have to do with the Yakuza, but I heard that there was a Hells Angels biker gang that did something that was super positive for the community. It was in the news or something. I don't really even remember what it was, but...
In Canada?
No, I think it was the U.S. But they, Oh. They were stopping like child molestation or something like
Are you
that.
sure it was the Hells Angels?
Now it could have been just a biker gang.
Yeah.
But that's an example of who would
Yeah.
technically be the bad guys, possibly doing something that would be of benefit for the society. It's an interesting topic, and I'd like to think about it more. Yakuza comes from Japanese game meaning the hand is good for nothing. We got a whole bunch of Yakuza experts in the chat here. We also have 12 o'clock right now, which means we're not going to be able to extend this any longer than it already has. We're going to have to say goodbye. We have lunchtime, and then we have meeting.
All right.
Mike D.
Ready.
Meeting from people from Kelowna, actually, my hometown. They're going to be like, what's up, Kelowna people? You automatically like me because we come from the same town, right?
We're friends.
It's funny, we do get that an awful lot. Like, people will send an email and say, hey, I heard you're from Canada. It makes me trust you. And it makes me wonder, do they trust every single person in Canada? That sounds like an easy person to rip off. When they say that to me, I'm like, all right, let's scam this guy.
I don't usually scam people.
Logan Knoll. Oh. Okay, Logan, I didn't realize that you're on the chat. You get a wink from me. It's not a very good one. I'm sorry about that. But yeah, Logan knows Kevin. And so when you meet Kevin, make sure you're like, Kevin, I know Logan, but you don't know him. Actually, I don't know him either. I know him through work. I just never met him. Anyways, we're just reading that last one from Elizabeth, something about an ST205.
Yeah, we don't the auctions. We don't have them for auction. They can be at auction, but they're not ours.
Well, I'll just do a quick check to see what's at auction at the moment. Today's Tuesday, so not all the auctions for the week are up. And what is this? A model type ST205. So there are 3 at auction at the moment. USS I can't show you, USS I can't show you, and this one. ST205 is only the turbocharged 4-wheel drive version of the car. Oh, that's an ugly hood scoop. The original hood scoop looks better than that. It's weird that somebody would think that the original one was not cool enough, so they'd go for a stupid one.
It looks like, you know, the mustache on your face, but if you were bald and just had that on your head.
That would be good. That would be a good look. Maybe that's the hairstyle I'll go for. And this one looks like it's in pretty rough condition too. We got R grade EE, so interior exterior E, super high mileage, and this section is completely full of comments, meaning it's probably going to be pretty rough. Even if you can't read the Japanese, if you see this section full of comments, it's going to be like probably too much damage. And then B3, yeah, not good. If you're looking for one of these for the US, they're running about 8,000 to 10,000 at the moment. US dollars, plus other fees. For other countries, you can get them for a little bit less, but prices are coming up as availability is down. About 10 years ago, you could pick them up for $2,500. Anyways, gonna say goodbye to everyone here, so thanks for joining. Goodbye, everybody. See you again next week.